Hello and welcome to the 5 Minute Film Club. In 2018, David Gordon Green's Halloween, a sequel to the 1978 film with the same name, opened in cinemas and became the highest grossing slasher film since Scream in 1996. This year we'll see the release of a sequel to that film called Halloween Kills. And so I thought I would take a look at all the films in the Halloween franchise leading up to that October release date. All starting in a little town called Haddonfield, the Halloween series goes through 2 evil cults, 2 retcons and 1 remake. Essentially, it's just a bit of a mess. But I will still enjoy, nonetheless, digging through the archives and trying to see what lurks beneath that blank, pale, emotionless face. Halloween starts with the story of a 6-year-old Michael Myers who kills his sister on Halloween night. He is committed to Smith's Grove Sanitarium into the care of Dr. Sam Loomis, played by Donald Pleasence, until 15 years later he breaks out and returns to his hometown to stalk a group of babysitters. My first exposure to Halloween was in fact via a VHS tape of it, and along with watching Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or, indeed Psycho, they're big cinematic moments that have lodged in my brain. The origin of Halloween comes from film producer Irvin Yablans, who wanted to make a horror movie to match the effect The Exorcist had on audiences in the early 1970s. He had an idea for a movie about an escaped lunatic going after babysitters called The Babysitter Murders. Not the most inspiring title, I'll grant you. Yablans had bought John Carpenter's second feature film, Assault on Precinct 13, when Carpenter and his then girlfriend Debra Hill flew over to the London Film Festival and met with Yablans and film financier Mustafa Akkad. From this meeting, John Carpenter was hired to write, direct and compose the music for the now titled Halloween. Carpenter was also given complete creative control and brought in Debra Hill to produce and co-write the film with him. Together, they crafted a script based on the idea that evil could never be killed. Halloween takes all the legends and customs surrounding All Hallows Night and just brings it into the 20th century. The modern boogeyman is no longer Frankenstein. Instead, he's an escaped lunatic returning to his hometown to kill again. With Halloween, Carpenter and Hill managed to tap into a primal fear and mix it with modern paranoia. They cast and crewed the film with friends and partners. 2 outsiders they brought in were first Jamie Lee Curtis for the lead role of Laurie Strode. This is her first feature film, and her being the daughter of Psycho actress Janet Leigh meant that the film had another string to its publicity bow. Curtis is young and very green here, but also is just fantastic and real with her performance, and launched 1001 imitations. She is the original Scream Queen, but also one of the most well-rounded, thanks to the dialogue written by Debra Hill. You'll be hard-pushed to find a horror film from the time where you have 3 teens who are totally believable in being teenagers. Donald Pleasence wasn't the first choice for Dr. Loomis. Carpenter wanted originally Peter Cushing. Next up was Christopher Lee, but they couldn't agree on terms, and the actor later said that it was his biggest career mistake. Eventually, veteran British character actor Donald Pleasence signed up mainly because his daughter was in a rock band and loved the score to Assault on Precinct 13. The weight and gravitas that Pleasence brings to Loomis, I think, is mesmerising. Carpenter knew he needed a seasoned actor in the role to add strength and validity to the film. The filming took place in sunny California, and the crew had to use all their ingenuity to hide the fact that this wasn't Midwest America. Pumpkins were also very hard to come by, and they had to make loads and loads of autumn leaves and scatter them about the set, and then after each take was complete, carefully rake them up so they could use them again. Now, I think that there are 2 major reasons that put Halloween head and shoulders above your Friday the 13th. First is the score by John Carpenter. The main theme is now synonymous with horror films, and I think in the same league as Jaws, the use of tubular bells to the start of The Exorcist, and the slashing strings that Bernard Herrmann produced for Psycho. Because of time constraints, he had just 3 days to score the film. He decided to write a few pieces that he would be able to slot in during the film and then just hope that they would work out. Second is the use of anamorphic widescreen and the cinematography from Dean Cundey, who would later go on to work with Steven Spielberg on massive films like Jurassic Park. Working with the vision of John Carpenter, Dean Cundey manages to give this film a leg up over the subsequent competition, with a subtle use of lighting that adds a great lot of tension and suspense to the film. The most famous scene for its lighting is definitely in the hallway towards the end of the film, where the masked image of Michael Myers, or the Shape as he is known in the original credits, is slowly revealed. An iconic moment that we will be seeing again in this series, and it's still effective no matter how many times you see it. Another technical aspect is the use of the Panaglide camera setup that was new at the time. This allowed the camera to move handheld smoothly and gave Halloween its famous, seemingly one-take opening shot. The whole opening again proves that John Carpenter knew exactly what to spend the money on, and so could make a low-budget film with a few expensive tricks that just elevates the whole production. I'm a huge fan of Halloween, in case you haven't guessed that already, and I will never, ever tire of watching it. I think it is one of the most genuinely scary horror films that were to come out of the late 1970s and all the way through the 1980s. Next week, I'll be reviewing Halloween 2, so please subscribe to the channel. As I said, I've got loads of Halloween videos coming to you this year, leading up to Halloween Kills in October. But until next time, I will say thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.